Okay, we will get started with the program. Badram karnebihi shrunyama devaha badram pashyema akshabihi yajatraha sthirairangair tushtuvam sastanubihi shema devahitai yadayuhu swasti nah indro vridrashravaha swasti nah pusha vishwavedaha स्वस्ति नः तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्ददातु यो अन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाच इमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयति अखिलशक्तिधरस्वदाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम् लसतु श्रीमदानन्दतीर्थेन्दुर्नो हृदम्बरे यद्वचश्चन्द्रिका स्वान्तसन्तापं विनिकृन्तति पदवाक्रमज्ञान् प्रणम्य शिरसा गुरून् व्याकरिष्ये यथाभूतं विष्णुतत्त्वविनिर्णयम्. So, good evening, everyone. Good morning, everyone, and good afternoon. So, we got friends joining us from all the continents, US, India, Europe, England, Dubai. So, we got friends from all over the place joining us to celebrate Hindu Knowledge Academy's annual day celebration. So, it is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you all to this auspicious event. My Shashtanga Namaskara to His Holiness Sugunendra Tirtha Swamiji, who will be joining us in a few minutes to deliver his keynote speech. My Namaskaras also to all the special guests who will be joining us today, including my Guru, Sri Tambraparani Subbacha Raghavendran. We are also hoping Professor Mukund viewers may join us. And so many esteemed guests whom I can see them all in the video who have also joined us. So thank you for taking the time this afternoon to spend a good 1.5 hours with us. Hopefully you will join us in the future as a part of a group and as a part of Hindu Knowledge Academy UK. So we have a very exciting program ahead. So before much ado, I would like to invite Jamuna to start off the program with invocation of Ganesha.
वातापि गणपतिं भजे हम वातापि गणपतिं भजे हम वारणा वरप्रदं श्रीवारणा वरप्रदं तापि गणपतिं भजे भूतादिसं सेवितचरणं भूतादिसं सेवितचरणं भूतभौतिका प्रपञ्चभरणं वीतरागिणं विनुतयोगिनम् वीतरागिणं विनुतयोगिनं विश्वकारणं विघ्नवारणं वीतरागिणं विनुतयोगिनं विश्वकारणं विघ्नवारणं वातापि गणपतिं भजे हम वारणा वरप्रदं वातापि गणपतिं भजे पुरा कुम्भ सम्भव मुनि वर प्रपूजितं त्रिभुवनमध्यगतं मुरारी प्रमुखाद्युपा सीतं मूलाधारक्षेत्र स्थितं परादि चत्वारि वागात्मकं प्रणवस्वरूप वक्रतुण्डं निरन्तरं निखिलचन्द्रखण्डं निजवामकर विधृतेक्षु दण्डं Karambuja Pasha Bija Puram Kalushavidhuram Bhutakaram Anadi Guru Guhatoshita Bimbam Hamsadvani Bhushita Herambam Anadi Guru Guhatoshita Bimbam Hamsadvani Bhushita Herambam Vadapi Ganapatim Bhaje Hamvarana Shyamvara Pradau Shri Vatapi. Hare Krishna.
Suresh, you need to unmute your audio.
My apologies. Thank you, Dr. Jamuna. It was indeed a wonderful rendition of the bhajan. And thank you, Professor Madhusudan, for getting us started this evening. My fellow colleagues, on this wonderful journey of self-discovery through the vision of our forefathers, so brilliantly illustrated in our ancient scriptures. It does seem just a little while ago that we embarked upon this journey. But lo and behold, here we are all gathered to mark the successful completion of 1 year of continuous, dedicated weekly contemplation under the able guidance of Professor Madhusudan. And to top it off, what better way to celebrate this than to be able to hear words of wisdom directly from His Holiness, Sri Sugunendra Tirth Swamiji of the Puttige Mutt, joining us from Udupi in a short while. Pujya Swamiji has been ever so gracious to allocate time for us, despite his hectic schedule, wherein he is deeply engrossed in rendering human service to humankind across the globe. In addition, as Professor Madhusudan mentioned, we have Sri Yogendra Bhatt, who will be joining us, Sri T.S. Raghavendran joining us, Professor Mukundan joining us, Sri Keshav Tadpatri joining us. Namaskars to all and a hearty welcome once again on behalf of the Hindu Knowledge Academy. As Professor Madhusudan said, we indeed have a packed agenda today. I will briefly reflect on the Hindu Knowledge Academy, and this will then be followed by the recitation of Dhyana Shloka and Purushottama Yoga. Post that, we will request Sri Yogendra Bhatt and Pujya Swamiji to enlighten us. Can you hear me, Professor Madhu?
Yeah, Suresh, go on. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry. This will then be followed by a question and answer session, wherein I would urge all of you to use the chat window to type in your questions. Professor Madhu will collate the questions and ask them on our behalf. Dr. Sudarshan will then briefly touch upon the various community outreach and fundraising activities, and the meeting will come to a close with Dr. Shushruth Kulkarni proposing the vote of thanks. As usual, a sincere request to everybody to please only unmute yourself when you are speaking. It's time now, friends, to get started with the agenda. May I kindly request people to go on mute. So as I was saying, it's time now to get along with the agenda for the day. And the first agenda item will be the HKA annual report, which I will now begin. Hindu Knowledge Academy is a group of enthusiasts. We come together on a weekly basis every Sunday for about 90 minutes to learn about our glorious cultural, spiritual, and philosophical heritage. As most of you may know, we have a website that you can see displayed on the slide now. And we also have a YouTube channel. Over 55 videos with content of more than 100 hours is currently available on these sites. Professor Madhusudan is an internationally acclaimed academic oncologist, a research scientist himself. There's more than 100 publications to his credit. But in addition, he's been undertaking a systematic study of the Shastras for more than 20 years under the able guidance of Sri Tamraparani Subbachar Raghavendran of Coimbatore, whom we popularly call as TSR, and Professor Vyasankeri Prabhanjanacharya of Bangalore. He continues to remain a humble and dedicated state student of late Sri Bannanji Govindacharya of Udupi. Therefore, friends, it doesn't come as a surprise that deliberations in the Hindu Knowledge Academy come with a very distinctive flavor. Subject matter, which is essentially an experiential science, which says, close your eyes that you may see all that is to be seen, is conveyed in a manner that is palatable to the minds that are trained in the modern day thinking, which insists on material verification, telling us that we need to keep our eyes as wide open as possible every single time. Further, indeed, there is plethora of information that's available on the internet. But sadly though, most of it turns out to be literal translation and fails to convey the deeper essence of our scriptures. Many seem to have a total disregard to fundamental concepts of understanding of scriptures, which are based on epistemology and ontology. Professor Madhu, time and again, insists and places special emphasis on the fact that one should not be carried away by superficial reading. One needs to dig deep, take the entire context into consideration, split every single word, and evolve an understanding through the interconnectedness of the scriptures within the framework of the Prasthanatrayas. A third topic that the Academy at times considers is connect to the current generation, as to how we make sure that this growing generation is not deprived of the wealth of knowledge that is our heritage, is indeed a question which needs more definitive answers. And now, to quickly look at some of the topics that we covered over the past year, we started by asking some very basic questions. Who are we? Why are we here? What's the journey of the souls? How do we understand and interpret our Vedic scriptures? The first 5 sutras of the Brahmasutra were so brilliantly explained to the forum. Then we did a deep analysis of the Purusha Sutta and Purushottama Yoga. Currently, we are dealing with Mandukya Upanishad and the philosophy of the Gayatri Mantra. In addition, we had some very interesting interactive sessions on the topic of what can be learned through the character of Arjuna through Gita, or how does one link science and tradition by the practice of Om and consciousness in the context of Mandukya Upanishad. In addition, we had some invited lectures on Om by Dr. Sundaraya. We had Sri TSR come and address us on the essence of Bhagavad Gita on Gita Jayanti, and Professor Mukund from US talked to us on Dasha Prameti. Sri Mohan Dasa of Hungary also talked to us on the Achintya Tattva. And now we eagerly await to hear the words of wisdom from Pujya Swamiji himself. And I'm sure this will only add further impetus to our journey through this Hindu Knowledge Academy. Friends, now is the time for us to move on to the next item on the agenda, which will be recitation of the Dhyana Shloka followed by the recitation of Purushottama Yoga. Dr. Neeta Kulkarni, Mrs. Veena Kankanwadi and Dr. Veena Deshpande will recite the Dhyana Shloka, which will then be immediately followed by a transcontinental team of both the young and the not so young, coordinated by Sri Harish Ji of the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Dr. Neeta, if you could, please. Thank you.
Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Shri Krishnaya Namaha Narayanam Suragurum Jagadekanatham Bhakta Priyam Sakalaloka Namaskritam Cha Traigunya Varjitamajam Vibhumadhyamisham Vande Bhavagnam Amarasura-siddhavandhyam Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Vasudev Vasutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum
Manojavam Marutatulyavegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtham Vatatmajam Vanarayuthamukhyam Shri Ramadutam Shirasa Namami Buddhirbalam Yashodhairyam Nirbhayatvamarogata Ajadhyam Vakpatutvam Cha Hanumatsmaranad Bhavet Vyasaya Bhavanashaya Shrishaya Gunarashaye Hrudyaya Shuddha Vidyaya Madhvaya Cha Namo Namaha
Pujyaya Raghavendraya Satyadharmarataaya Cha Bhajatam Kalpavrukshaya Namatam Kamadhenave Durvadidvantaravaye Vaishnavendi Varendave Shri Raghavendra Gurave Namotyanta Dayalave Shri Krishna Pujarpita Chitta Vrittim Viratta Chudamani Mindu Shantam Ananta Sadbhaktam Priyam Mamapi Sugunendra Tirtham Paramashitoham.
Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha Atha Panchadashodhyayaha Purana Purushottama Yogaha Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Urdhva Moola Shakham Ashwatham Prahuravyayam Chandamsi Yasya Parnani यस्तं वेद स वेदवित् अधश्चोर्ध्वं प्रसृतास्तस्य शाखाः गुणप्रवृद्धा विषयप्रवालाः अधश्च मूलान्यनुसन्ततानि कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके न रूपमस्येह तथोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन छित्त्वा
ततः परं तत्परिमार्गितव्यं यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूयः तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यतः प्रवृत्तिः प्रसृता पुराणे निर्माणमोहार्जितसङ्गदोषाः अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ताः सुखदुःखसंज्ञैः गच्छन्त्यमूढाः पदमव्ययं तत्
न तद्भासयते सूर्यो न च शाङ्को न पावकः यद्भक्त्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनः षष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति
शरीरं यदवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वासयात् शोद्रं चक्षुषपश्नं च रसनं घ्राणमेव च अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायं विषयानुपसेवते उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि भुजानं वा गुणान्वितं विमूढानानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषः
यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनं पश्यन्त्यात्मन्यवस्थितं यतन्तोऽप्याकृतात्मानो नैनं पश्यन्त चेतसः
यदादित्यगतं तेजो जगद्भासयतेऽखिलं यश्चन्द्रमसि यश्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकं गामाविश्य भूतानि धारयाम्यहमोजसः पुष्णामि चौषधी सर्वा सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्ता पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम्
सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मत्ता स्मृतिज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृत् वेदविदेव चाहम्
द्वाविमौ पुरुषौ लोके क्षरश्चाक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थोऽक्षर उच्यते उत्तमः पुरुषस्त्वन्यः परमात्मेत्युदाहृतः यो लोकत्रयमाविश्य बिभर्त्यव्यय ईश्वरः
यस्माक्षरमतीतोऽहम् अक्षरादपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च प्रतितः पुरुषोत्तमः यो मामेवमसम्मूढो जानाति पुरुषोत्तमं स सर्वविद् भजति मां सर्वभावेन भारत इति गुह्यतमं शास्त्रम् इदमुक्तं मया नघ एतद्बुद्ध्वा बुद्धिमान् स्यात् कृतकृत्यश्च भारत ॐ
तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे पुराणपुरुषोत्तमयोगो नाम पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु.
Thank you. That was indeed a brilliant recitation of the 15th chapter. and an ample demonstration of teamwork. Thank you, Harish ji and team. Friends, we now move on to the most awaited item on the agenda. And for this, I would now like to invite Sri Yogendra Bhatt, who is the chief priest and coordinator at the Puttige Mutt, to address us, following which Sri Yogendra Bhatt will hand it over to Pujya Swamiji for his discourse. Sri Yogendra Bhatt ji, please.
श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः वसुदेवसुतं देवं अनुरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वम् अरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वञ्च हनूमस्मरणात् भवेत् मूकोऽपि यत्प्रसादेन मुकुन्दशयनायते राजराजायते रिक्तो राघवेन्द्रं तमाश्रये अस्मद्गुरुसमारम्भां टीकाकृत्पादमध्यगां श्रीमदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः श्रीसुगुणेन्द्रतीर्थगुरुभ्यो नमः Namaste to everyone for this wonderful session. We are all very happy to participate. I was listening to the introduction, the history. You have been conducting so many such events, very interesting. Now, with the grace of Lord Shri Krishna and blessings from our Guru Parampara, His Holiness Sri Sugunendra Tirtha Swamiji, we are also with you all wonderful devotees of Lord and also seekers of knowledge. Sri Krishna Vrindavana all over the world as blessed by Lord Shri Krishna and inspired by Jagadguru Madhvacharya himself, His Holiness Sri Swamiji established everywhere. We don't need any introduction about His Holiness Sri Swamiji, who is well known. Swamiji is the reason for the knowledge, enlightenment, whatever we find in America right now. Efforts of past 20 plus years, 8 branches all over America and several branches in Australia, Canada, and UK as well. All of you know, we have been serving in United Kingdom since past several years. Right now, as our representative, Ganesh Acharya is there. The uniqueness of Venkata Krishna Vrindavana is based on knowledge, the right knowledge. Swamiji having the great vision about our upcoming generation, how to provide the right knowledge. Our generation, now they are growing all over the world. We have to carry the tradition, the spiritual knowledge as well, while we are growing everywhere. With that great Sankalpa, Swamiji decided to cross the ocean, Videsha Prayana, holding the Bhagavad Gita in hand with the great Sankalpa of spreading the knowledge. That is what called ultimate Yati Dharma. The result is all over the world. We are glad to see everywhere knowledge and enlightenment. The programs of Krishna Vrindavana also well known. So many knowledge sessions. One of them I'm very happy to let you know all. I think all of you know already. Non-stop Nirantara Jnana Yajna, which has been going on every day. Swamiji has started last year, auspicious day of Ramanavami, non-stop. And thousands of devotees, they are learning Bhagavad Gita. Hundreds of them, they have memorized the entire Bhagavad Gita with proper pronunciation, you know, as well. Now, this is the time to get another message from His Holiness Sri Swamiji. That is great honor and grace anugraha for all of us. Swamiji will give a great message for all of us. You have been learning, going through such sessions. This is kind of higher level, the next level of our spiritual journey, I believe. Today, even though Swamiji is having hectic schedule as usual, in spite of Ekadashi, fasting, Upavasa, the marathon, non-stop such events, not only Swamiji is doing the spiritual and like knowledge sessions non-stop after establishing Puttike Vidyapitha, you can notice that all of our priests and scholars, they're all from like Puttike Vidyapitha only. So that is the great vision of our His Holiness Swamiji. Even though Swamiji is having so many such classes, training the disciples, non-stop such social and some events. Today, Swamiji has agreed to bless all of us with great message on Upanishad and continued question and answers. Now, I don't know how much time Swamiji can spend on this. Today, we have Sri Keshavrao Tadapatri also with us. He is the one of the Asthana Vidwansas of Sri Puttike Matha, residing in America. Currently, he is in Phoenix, Arizona. He will also, as per the Anujna of His Holiness Swamiji, will join us and explain, or in more detail, he will give some enlightenment about the Upanishad Chintanam. And now Swamiji will bless us with few words, and Keshavrao Tadapatri also will talk about the same and explanation and the more some messages on Upanishad. Then the question and answer, it will also will follow. That is the little change or update in our program. About Sri Krishna Vrindavana, Venkata Krishna Vrindavana, known as, now we are all full-fledged, something unique and something special organization we proudly present as not only performing the religious or the spiritual ceremonies. We have the classes of Bhagavad Gita and Ganeshacharya already conducting the Vedic classes, and with the blessings and great guidance from His Holiness Swamiji, we are kind of very unique and very open for all parts of our philosophy or the tradition. We have Dvaita, Advaita, Vishishtadvaita, and many more such wings on our philosophy. So ultimately, the Veda is the foundation. Upanishads is the ultimate essence of all knowledges. Based on that right path, Swamiji has established the great foundation for the enlightenment of our, not only ourselves, our upcoming generation as well. Keeping that in our mind and performing all the rituals, helping our a community with so many such very special and unique events. Now we have been a very well-known organization in UK already. Now with all your support and coordination, cooperation, will definitely go further and will have the great service continuously in UK as well, which we have been providing all over America and other countries, in Australia, for example, in Canada. Now, I thank all of you, all the organizers, for having this great session, and with humble devotional pranamas, namaskaras to the feet of His Holiness Sri Swamiji. I request Sri Swamiji to give us the great Sandesha, and also I request Sri Keshora Tadipatri also as the one of the great disciples of Sri Swamiji to join us with this very special, unique spiritual journey. Krishna Arpanam.
गुरुवेपि कर्दमपराशरपाण्डुमुख्याः यत्सेवया गुणगणाढ्यमपत्यमापुः तं पूर्णसद्गुणतनं करुणामृताब्धिं नारायणं कुलपतिं शरणं व्रजेम। निर्मथ्य उग्रभवार्णवे निजमनोभीष्टं दिशामीति यः सम्यक् ज्ञापयितुं करेण विलसन्मन्त्राणं मन्येन च रम्यं दामदतन्महेश्वरजतत् रामश्रियोऽलङ्कृतिः कर्मन्दीश्वर भक्तिबन्धनवशः प्रीतोऽस्तु कृष्णप्रभुः। पापावली पाटलपट्टपाङ्गः श्रीपाणिपद्माञ्चितजानुजङ्गः गोपालबालकृपया स्वयन्नः श्रीपाण्डुरङ्गो भवतु। व्यासाय भवनाशाय श्रीशाय गुणराशये हृद्याय शुद्धविद्याय मध्वाय च नमो नमः। प्रथमो हनुमन्नाम द्वितीयो भीम एव च पूर्णप्रज्ञः तृतीयस्तु भगवत्कार्यसाधकः। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वम् अरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनूमस्मरणात् भवेत्। मूकोऽपि यत्प्रसादेन मुकुन्दशयनायते राजराजायते रिक्तः राघवेन्द्रं तमाश्रये। आपादमौलिपर्यन्तं गुरूणाम् आकृतिं स्मरेत् तेन विघ्नाः प्रणश्यन्ति सिद्ध्यन्ति च मनोरथाः। We are very glad to appreciate the effort of this speech from Sri Venkatakrishna Vrindavana, UK, and we are very glad to appreciate the effort of all devotees who are attending this Upanishad Chintana, and we are very glad to say our Venkatakrishna Vrindavana is not only for bhakti,
Can I please request Shrikant to mute his audio, please? Thank you.
and we are very glad to notice the eagerness of devotees for hearing Upanishads. Normally, devotees, they want to hear about Mahabharata, Ramayana, and Bhagavad Gita, but only higher people, higher level people, they want to know about Upanishad, because Upanishad is the highest level of knowledge. To know the Upanishad, we should have the background and we should have the all kinds of preparations. Then only we can go through Upanishad. But here, our devotees, if they are eager to know Upanishad, it is very interesting and it is very great effort that we are very glad to inaugurate the Upanishad Chintanam to our Venkatakrishna Vrindavan. We are very glad to notice the account of this corona pandemic. People, they are becoming more antarmukhi. I think God has sent corona to give this message to become people more antarmukhi rather than bahirmukhi. So it is the message of Lord to go through the all chintanas. That is why people are more interested nowadays in Upanishads and Ramayana, Bhagavad Gita, all these things. More pravachanas are going on. And to come to Upanishad, we should have the background and we should know about the background of Upanishad also. First of all, Upanishads are considered as not scripture, it is like Upanishad. We cannot consider Upanishad as Mahabharata or Bhagavad Gita or Ramayana, because Mahabharata and Ramayana, all these scriptures are written by authors, but Vedas, Upanishads are not written by anyone. That is why it is very difficult to understand. If you know the background of author, then easily you can understand the scriptures. If you cannot get the backgrounds of the authors, because there are no authors. That is why it is very difficult to understand. The language of Upanishad also very difficult, because it is a kind of udgara, it's outburst. That is why it is considered as sarvakalika. Upanishads are not composed by anyone. Vedas are not composed by anyone. It's just outburst of the output of the first dhyana. The end of the dhyana, when it reached the higher level, then without knowing by the rishis, these Vedas are coming out. That is why it is considered as sarvakalika. When the udgara is there, it is always true. It will not be spoiled. That is why people, they express their inner feelings when they are having the udgara. Otherwise, people, they may act something and they can tell lie, but when the time of udgara, only truth is coming. That is why Vedas are considered as the udgara, Upanishads are considered as the udgara for rishis, and that is why it is honored as a great message, not like Ramayana or Mahabharata. It is composed. It is sarvakalika, nitya. So the message is always relevant. That is why Upanishads are considered as the great scriptures and great message. And Bhagavad Gita is also considered as Upanishad. Sarvopanishadaha Gavaha Dogdha Gopala Nandana. So Upanishad is considered as Gita. Gita is also considered as Upanishad. In that way, if you go through the Gita, if you go through, then you are going through Upanishads also, and Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, Brahmasutra, all these Prasthanatraya is considered as one and same message. That is why before going to Upanishad, we should enter into Bhagavad Gita and we should know the background of Upanishad. Then only we can understand the Upanishad properly. Today, we are taking one Upanishad. The main Upanishad is Ishavasya Upanishad. Ishavasyamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tektena bhunjitaha magrataha tasya siddhanam is the first mantra of Ishavasya Upanishad. It is considered as Yajniya Mantra Upanishad. When Swayambhu Manu was under attack by demons, then he had three ways to come out. Either surrendering or fighting against the demons or surrender into God. Then he chose the third way, surrender into God. When this mantra, then Ishavasya Upanishad, then Yajna, they are come and protected by everyone. That is why this mantra is protecting everyone. Ishavasya Upanishad is having 18 mantras. It says it is resembling Bhagavad Gita, where in Bhagavad Gita also we can see 18 chapters. So Ishavasya Upanishad is directly connected to Bhagavad Gita, and Bhagavad Gita is directly connected to Ishavasya Upanishad. That is where we can see the similarity in the numbers also. The message also is very clear. It says Ishavasya Midam Sarvam. The whole world is belonging to him. We are in his house. If you consider your life for the seva of Isha, then only you will be taking the moksha. Tena tektena bunjitaha magritaha. Whole world is considered as the abode of Lord. He is considered as Isha. Isha means controller. We are in the house of controller. When we are in the house of controller, then we should follow some rules. When we will be in the house of boss, then we should be very careful. We should serve him. If you act like a boss in the house of boss, then he will kick out. That is why consider your life as for the service of Lord, and don't think that it is mine, and then only you will be blessed by him. That is the message. The message, same message is given in Bhagavad Gita also. You can see the narration and you can see the link between Bhagavad Gita and Upanishad, how it is interlinked. The same message was given by Lord Krishna, the end of Gita, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hriteshe Arjuna. The Lord is dwelling in every house, every man, and every jiva. So if you consider your body as a abode of Lord, if you consider whole world is abode of God, then only you are considering as yourself as dasa and devotees. This is the right way to consider, and we should then only be blessed by Lord. This is the message of Bhagavad Gita and as well as Upanishad. So we can compare the Upanishad and Bhagavad Gita, and we can go to Gita, good Upanishad. And Ishavasya Upanishad is the smallest Upanishad, where we can see the direct message of Bhagavad Gita. So by giving small message of Ishavasya Upanishad today it is Upavasa. Upanishad means higher level. Upanishad means staying in higher level. And we are observing Upavasa. That means Upavasa is not taking food but forgetting food, staying with God. So we are very glad to stay with God with the Chintanam, with the Upanishad Chintanam, and I'm very glad to do a small speech on Ishavasya Upanishad. I hope we can continue with the Upanishad Chintanam, and I appreciate all the devotees for the request for Upanishad Chintana, and we appreciate we have the Asthana Vidwan, Keshava Tadapatri, who is master in Veda Vedanta, can satisfy everyone, and we hope this Upanishad can produce the blessings of Lord Krishna. Once again, we appreciate everybody.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ, ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕು. UK ಎಲ್ಲಾರು ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಬೇಕು. So on behalf of all of us, I'm asking Swamiji to bless us all. We have everyone from UK, USA, India, Dubai. Everyone has joined here to listen to your thoughts of wisdom, Swamiji. So please bless us all. Thank you so much for coming and gracing this occasion. We are really blessed for this. Thank you very much, Swamiji. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಆಶೀರ್ವಾದ ಕೊಡಿ. So can I pass on to Tadpatri ji, please? He is muted. So Tadpatri ji, please, could you come and share your wisdom to us, please?
Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Abhramam Bhangarhitam Ajadam Vimalam Sada Anandatirthamatulam Vadetapatrayapaham Mithya Siddhanta Dudhvanta Vidvamshana Sakshana Jayatitthakatanirbhasatam no hridambare Artikalpitakalpoyam Pratyaktikesari Vyasatitha Gurubhuyadasmnishtata Siddhaye Tapo Vidya Virakyadi Sutgunogakaranam Vajraja Gurun Vande Hikryapashayan Pujaya Raghavendraya Siddharmarataya Bhasatanka Purukshaya Namatam Kamadhenave Durvadidhvantrave Vaishnavendevarendave Shri Raghavendra Guruve Namo Atyantadayalave Apadamoli Paryantam Gurunamaktam Sparet Jana Vignaha Prashyanti Siddhin Samnorataha. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. At the very outset, I would like to offer my respectful Sashtanga Danda Pranamas to our most beloved and most knowledgeable Swamiji Shri Puttiga Mathadishru Shri Sugunendra Tita Shri Padangalawaru, and also my very grateful thanks to Shri Yogendra Bhattaji, who is like a leading beacon of light, and he is like, the making Swamiji's dreams become true, like spreading the knowledge. In that, he's taking a very key part. And as he mentioned, the Nirantara Jnana Yajna he is doing, and as part of it, in UK and also all over the world, people are participating in this Nirantara Jnana Yajna. And as it is mentioned in the scriptures, Jnanenaiva Parampadam Nanya Pantha Ayanaya Vidyate. Without this spiritual knowledge, it is not possible for anyone to progress in the path of moksha. So this moksha prayana is very difficult, but at the same time, with the help of Gurugalu, it becomes easier. So a lot of times people come up with questions like, we are interested in Shastras, but we don't know where to start. We don't know how to do it. Can you guide us? Can you tell us? Can you help us where we should start? How we should start? So if the first step is to have the very desire to learn, that's the first step, and all of you have taken that giant step. And the next step is to find the Gurugalu. So with Yogendra's help, we have so many people who can guide us. And once you find a proper Guru, he will tell you where to start, how to start. No matter which grantha you pick up, no matter what work you take up, Prasthanatraya, the journey to moksha, it goes on three main paths. They call Prasthanatraya. Prasthana means like a great journey to moksha. Three main paths are there. They are called Sutra Prasthana, and then Gita Prasthana, and then Upanishad Prasthana. Among these, as is mentioned, Sutra Prasthana and Gita Prasthana are Paurusheya, but both are also again established by Paramatma himself. And then the third one, Upanishad Prasthana, is Apaurusheya Prasthana, and that one is Apaurusheya. It's part of the Vedas. Upanishads are nothing but part of the Vedas. And the moment people hear Upanishad, oh, it is not for us, it is for someone else, maybe higher beings. So we should not even touch Upanishads because they're impossible to understand. So we should not go near Upanishads. Some people have this kind of a fear complex. So you should completely get out of this fear complex. You should know that how this Upanishads even started, the way it has done is Upanishads, you can see, as Swamiji has already mentioned, about Ishavasya Upanishad, also called Mantra Upanishad. So the Upanishads have taken one of the two different paths. One path is like in this Ishavasya Upanishad, Swayambhu Manvu, he offers his prayers to his daughter Akuti and her son, which is like his grandson Yajnanamka Paramatma, whom he adopted as son himself. So Dauhitra, so that is daughter's son, and through Yajnanamaka Paramatma, by offering prayers, the Ishavasya is the form of a prayer. So that means it is all of us, we can offer these prayers. Through Ishavasya Upanishad, we can offer our prayers to Paramatma and understand a simple meaning of that Ishavasya Upanishad. It will tell us all the basic things that we need in worshipping Paramatma, in offering our prayers. And the other way the Upanishads have done is they are like a conversation. So that means just as we ask questions to people, they answer us. The same way the Upanishads are put in the same kind of a structure. Someone asks the question, someone answers the questions. So this is a question answer type of session. That means Upanishads are one of the most easily followable. Of course, it's not that very easy to understand, but with the Guru Galu's help, you can start on Upanishads. And Bhagavad Gita, which is the essence of Upanishads, that is also like you say, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, so Upanishads, so you conclude that. That means it is also the essence of Upanishads. And Brahmasutra, Sutra Prasthana, Brahmasutras, they are Nirnayaka Granthas. That means whatever decision is given by the Upanishads, it gives a conclusive message. It says, this is what, idamitham, this is how it is. It gives a conclusive message. So the Sutra Prasthana. So these three Prasthana, we call Prasthana Traya. So you follow the path that is prescribed by this Prasthana Traya. That means you are sure to reach Paramatma. But the difficulty people face is for this Prasthana Traya, three Prasthanas, many schools have provided their own feedbacks, as we said, Advaita, Vishishtadvaita, and then our own Dvaita Siddhanta, Acharya Siddhanta, which is called Tattvavada, the true name. They all have given. So which one should we follow? If you take the help of the Guru Galu, they will tell you that Acharya has answered all the objections that are raised in other schools, and he has given a conclusive message. So whatever our Acharya has given is a final message and a conclusive message, dispelling all our doubts, all our suspicions. So this is the best way, and you just follow the Guru Galu. They will tell you why our Acharya. It's not a kind of a dogmatic view, but it is an open-hearted view. You make your own decision. You go through them, you study them, and you will yourself be convinced how Acharya Siddhanta is the ultimate truth-giving Siddhanta. So that is how the Upanishads are a kind of a conversational mode. For example, already we talked about Ishavasya Upanishad. Like that, the next Upanishad is called Kenopanishad. In Kenopanishad, the way it happens is on the top of the Meru mountain in Vaijayanti Bhavana, in Ekanta, that is all alone, by Rudra and Chaturmukha alone are sitting, and Rudra asks Chaturmukha Brahma as to why the mind is not in the control, which is not in the control of the jiva. It flows to various things. We also experience in our life. We want to put our mind on something, it goes somewhere else. Sometimes we get good thoughts, sometimes we get bad thoughts. So the mind is takes this good and bad things, everything, as if forcefully driven. Who does it all? Who is behind this? And Brahma explains to Rudra, and that is what is Kena Upanishad. It starts with Kena, that's why it's called Kena. Kena, by whom? By whom all this happens? So that's how Upanishad goes. And when it comes to next Upanishad, you all heard of that Kathopanishad or Kathakopanishad. There, again, it's a conversation between Nachiketa and Yamadharmaraja. The context is given for each of the Upanishad, how it happens, how it started. For example, for this Kataka Upanishad, Uddalaka, great-grandson of Vajashravas, what he does is he is desirous of getting the heaven. Heaven means Swarga, not only Swarga, and eventually Moksha also. He did Yagna and gifted away all his possessions. And Nachiketa did not like the gifting away of weak and non-milk yielding cows, and pestered his father Uddalaka as to whom he will gift away Nachiketa, his own son. And enraged and angered by by this Nachiketa's constant pestering, Uddalaka said, okay, I'll gift you away to Yama himself. And unperturbed, Nachiketa goes to Yamaloka and gets the instruction directly from Yamadharmaraja. And Srihari Tattva, the true understanding of Paramatma, is given by Yamadharmaraja to Nachiketa, and that is Kataka Upanishad. So if anyone performs Homa 3 times in Nachiketa Agni, thinking of Srihari, he goes to the Swarga and dwells there for 1 manvantara and then goes to Moksha. So that's how the Upanishads. And when it comes to Sat Prashna Upanishad, the name itself says 6 questions, 6 people, like Bharadwaja's son Sukesha, and Shibi's son Satyakama, and Surya's grandson and Gargavamsha's born person Gargya, and Ashwalayana's son Kausalya, and Bhrugu's son Vaidarbhi, and then Katya's son Kabandi. They asked 6 questions. These 6 people asked 6 questions to Pipalada, and that is called Shat Prashna Upanishad. That means what? All these Upanishads, what are they conveying? They're saying you have questions, like that people, the knowledgeable ones also have questions. And they asked on our behalf, they asked the questions, the answers are given. And these Upanishads, by studying these Upanishads, what we are doing is we are acquiring the knowledge that is most essential for reaching out moksha. Moksha is nothing but, what is moksha? I would say, we have to go to moksha. Why? What is moksha? Moksha is nothing but anyatha sthiti. Whatever is anyatha rupatvam hitva swarupena vyavasthiti. Whatever is inherent to us, enjoying that inherent thing is the moksha. That's all. For inherent enjoyment, some obstructions are there. For removing these obstructions, we have to study the scriptures, and Upanishads are one of the best modes of studying the scriptures. And I congratulate all of you people who are very desirous of acquiring this knowledge. Please proceed in the same path and make the best of it. And there are a lot of people like us who also, we are not saying that we are great people, we are learning great scholars or anything. Whatever we know, we pass on, and we together do the learning, because everybody is eternal student. We are always students. Now, several janmas also, we are still students only. All of us will together do this learning process and go in the path of moksha. And I wish all the best of luck to all of you people, and please make the best of it. And with the help of Yogindra Bhattaji and so many others who are there in Puttige Matha, make the best of it. And I really congratulate you all for doing this wonderful job. Thank you very much. Jnana Praptirastu Samasan Mangalan Bhavantu. Again, my namaskaras to Swamiji for this great opportunity. Hare Srinivasa.
Thank you, Sri Tarapatriji. Yeah, please, you're on mute, Yogendra Ji. So if you could please unmute yourself.
I had to convey one message.
Please.
Anyway, Swamiji has been observing fasting, Upavasa for the Loka Kalyanam, just since past 7 days, only having just 1 cup of milk. And today is the complete fasting. So that is the reason Swamiji, Swamiji even till yesterday, Swamiji wanted to have complete session and with the full energy, but Swamiji got tired. That's the reason Swamiji could not have the complete session giving the message. But there is a reason Swamiji conveyed that message to Keshwara Tadepatri as a son with Damsa to convey some message, and Swamiji will be with us for upcoming sessions. This is what I want to convey, and thank you for all the organization for organizing this great and wonderful session. Looking forward upcoming more such sessions. Thank you.
No, thank you, Yogesh, and thanks Tadpatriji as well. Now we move on to the next item, which is the question answer sessions. I guess a couple of questions have been popped into the chat box. Please use the chat box to send in your questions. You could also raise your hands to ask a question. Professor Madhusudan will coordinate this session and ask the questions on our behalf. Professor Madhusudan, please.
Yeah. So yeah, Suresh, thank you very much. So again, Shashtanga Namaskara to Swamiji, and my profound thank you to Tadpatriji for making the time to come here and share his wealth of wisdom. So Tadpatriji, we would be delighted, and we think we would be our blessings, and to have you in our sessions to share your knowledge. As you rightly put it, knowledge is to be shared. Swadhyaya and Pravachana, as our Upanishad says. So we would kindly request you to join us. So on that note, Tadpatriji, we've got a few questions that are coming through now. So I just want to start off with the first question, which is quite interesting. The question is, Bhagavad Gita is composed by Lord Vedavyasa, so not Apaurushaya. In that case, why is it also called Upanishads?
Bhagavad Gita, though it is Paurusheya, why it is called Upanishad? For that, we should first understand the meaning of the word Upanishad. Upanishad means near, Nishad means sitting near. That means for acquiring the knowledge, a Sishya sits near the Guru and gets the. So in case of Upanishads, that's how it happens. So one Sishya sits next to the Guru and a conversation mode takes place. So that is the reason here Upanishads also, Krishna is giving instruction to Arjuna, and it is in the form of an instruction. And here Sri Krishna has taken up as his kind of a goal to give the essence of Upanishad. So because though it is Paurusheya, though it is given by Krishna Paramatma himself, he knows what is the message that is present in Upanishad. So in case of others, what happens is we have to interpret what the Upanishad means, because it's in a Vedic grammar. It is a very Parokshava Vedaha. These Vedas are all indirect. The knowledge is very deep, very indirect. So Krishna, he packed all the knowledge that is present in Upanishad and given in the form of a Gita. So though Gita is a kind of, it is not a kind, it is a Paurusheya Grantha, but it is packed with the knowledge present in Upanishads. That's why it's a Upanishad Sara. That's why you call Bhagavad Gita so Upanishad. So though it is not a Upanishad, it is a Sara, the essence of the Upanishad. Krishna has packed in Bhagavad Gita. That is why it's called Upanishad. Upanishad means equivalent of Upanishad. It's not exactly Upanishad, but is equivalent of Upanishad. It has the same validity as Upanishad, because Paramatma knows what is the exact message that is hidden in the Upanishad, and he has given in the form of a Gita. That is why it is called Upanishad. That means it is the essence of Upanishad and equivalent of Upanishad.
Thank you very much, Tadpatriji. I have another very interesting question that's come through. Shankaracharya did Bhashya for 10 Upanishads, and Srimad Acharya has also done 10 Bhashyas for the Upanishads. The question that's come is, why should we read only 10 Upanishads? Why only these 10 Upanishads have taken prominence, whilst there are so many other Upanishads for our contemplation?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Why only these 10 Upanishads are taken? Why not other Upanishads? So actually, these are called principal Upanishads or primary Upanishads. The reason is whatever other Upanishads have contained, that message, though not completely, a good part of it is present. So these 10 Upanishads give a complete picture. The other Upanishads will give some additional points, additional notes, but these 10 Upanishads cover all the basic required points. That is why only these 10 Upanishads are taken, and the Upanishad Prasthana, it includes these 10 Upanishads. So it does not include other Upanishads. The reason is other Upanishads, whatever messages are there, they are indirectly or directly present in these 10 Upanishads. That's why only these 10 are taken. For example, and there are some references, some additional points like Shvetashvatara Upanishad, some statements are there which are referred in their commentaries, in their bhashyas. Acharya, Avaracharya, and also other acharyas have referred the statements from other Upanishads. They have come as part of their bhashyas in other parts. So other Upanishads are referred intermittently, but these 10 Upanishads are thorough explanation. The full explanation is given for these 10 Upanishads. For other Upanishads, which are important ones, they are referred in their bhashyas, in their commentaries. They have referred other Upanishads. So other Upanishads are not completely dropped off like hot potatoes. They are referred, but they don't have to be studied in entirety, because their messages are also present in these 10 Upanishads. These 10 Upanishads give complete picture. So that is why only these 10 Upanishads are studied. Other Upanishads are referred in the bhashyas now and then.
Thank you very much, Tadpatri. So on that related note, there is another question that's come through. So in our Hindu Knowledge Academy, we actually started off doing Mandukya Upanishad because we wanted to do Omkara Chintane and then understand the whole depth of the Gayatri mantra. So we started with Mandukya Upanishad. But one of the questions that's come through is, which Upanishad should we actually start? From Swamiji's message today, to me, it looks like we should have actually started from Ishavasya Upanishad. And what is your view on that, Tadpatriji? Yeah. Which Upanishad should we start and why?
Yeah. Ishavasya Upanishad is the best one to start with for two reasons. One is it is the shortest Upanishad, one reason. The second reason is it tells us how we should offer our prayers. When we offer our prayers, like as Swamiji mentioned today, Ishavasya Upanishad is Ishavasya Midam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat. So this entire universe is pervaded by Paramatma, and that is our starting message. That's why Ishavasya Upanishad is the best one and the simplest one and the easiest one to start with. And you have taken the Mandukya Upanishad, is not like eventually you will come to that anyway. And in this point, actually, I would like to mention a point, one important point. Some online resources, they say that Mandukya Upanishad is the shortest one. It is not true. What happened was, the Gaudapada Karikas, there are 4 sections in that. The first one is called Agam Paricheda, which is part of the Upanishad itself. The Upanishad is, for example, 12 slokas they have taken, and the other 29 slokas which are there as the Agam Paricheda, they are also part of the Mandukya Upanishad. So it contains 41 verses, not 12 verses, as some of the people, they are projecting 12 verses only in Mandukya Upanishad. It is not true. It has 41 verses. So it is not the shortest one. The shortest one, and also the first one from the content point of view, is Ishavasya Upanishad. The best thing to do is to start with Ishavasya Upanishad, because it gives all the basic ingredients, how we should do our prayers, how we should do our worship, what should be our anusandhana, the thinking process, how it should be. This is conveyed by Ishavasya Upanishad. So that is the best one to start with.
Thank you, Tatpatriji. So there is another, this is a difficult one question that's come. So from Upanishad's perspective, we understand that Isha Upanishad is the best one to go for. But the related question is, all our Prasthana Trayas, Upanishad, Sutra Prasthana, Gita Prasthana, and Upanishad Prasthana. To understand one, probably we need to know the other two, or to understand Upanishads, you need to understand the Sutra and the Gita. So all three seems to be related to each other. So do we have to study it simultaneously? Say, for example, Prabhanjan Acharya advised me once that try and do studies simultaneously all the three and try and grasp it over the years. So what is your view, Tadpatriji, on this? Because we don't know where to start.
Yeah, that's a very good question. And my recommendation, I said a Gurukul is needed. My best recommendation is to do them together. They are interlinked. You can see one referring to the other. So the best thing to do is, yes, in fact, we are doing that like in my patas, what I do, one day I do one, second day I do another one, third day I do another one. So it is the best to do them together because they refer to each other. So if we, let us complete one and then go to the other, means you're missing so many links because one connects, refers to that, that refers to this. So the references we are putting aside and learning, it becomes a incomplete way of learning. So the best thing to do is, yes, do them together. That way you see how the connections are there. Why this refers to that, why that refers to this. And Sutra Prasthana, as I mentioned, it's a Nirnayaka Grantha, it's a decision maker. So when the decision maker, it is giving, this is a decision. And in Sutra Prasthana, the Sutra Bhashyas, they refer to Upanishads, they refer to Gitas, they refer to Puranas, they refer to so many things. Without any reference, without understanding them, studying only Sutra Prasthana, no, it won't do good. Same as studying only Upanishads, that will not help also. So doing them together is the best thing to do and the right thing to do. Though it may take a little longer time, that is the best way of doing it.
Thank you very much. So on that, you mentioned Puranas. So there is a question that's come about Puranas also. How should one interpret Puranas? Because they don't form part of the Prasthana Trayas. And we all know that they have been grouped into Satvika, Rajasa and Tamasika Puranas. So how do we understand the Tamasika Puranas as actually expounding the ultimate truth? And how do we understand the Puranas, Tatpatriji's conversation?
Yeah, and that's a very good question because the Puranas, as mentioned, when the Sattvika, Rajika, Tamasika, a lot of people are getting up. That means, in fact, the another question, that's corollary question that comes with is, why should Vedavyasa even compose Rasika and Tamasika Puranas? She should compose only Sattvika Puranas. That is another question that added to that. So the Puranas, we should be very careful when we say Rajasika and Tamasika Puranas. It does not mean that that has, the Rasika Puranas have Rasika component only, or Tamsika Purana has Tamsika component only, or mixture. They are all having correct message only. But the Rajasika Puranas, there is a lot of scope to understand, and the Rajasika people will get attracted to it, and there is a scope to misinterpret in the Rajasik way. And Tamsika Puranas, there is a scope to interpret them in a tamasic way. There's a lot of opportunity for that. That is why they are named as Rajasika and Tamasika. So that's why Vedavyasa composed, whatever Vedavyasa wrote, they are all acceptable in their entirety. But they have to be understood from the guideline and helping and the teaching of a proper guru. In that way, all the Puranas are, in fact, the Skanda Purana is listed among Tamasika Purana. And our Acharya quotes elaborately from Skanda Purana. There are several statements that Acharya quotes from Skanda Purana. That itself shows Skanda Purana is a very, very, very acceptable Purana for us. But people will have the tendency to misinterpret. So the Puranas have to be, and Acharya actually describes in Rugbhashya when he says, when somebody comments on the Puranas, he must have the qualification. Not everybody has the right to interpret the Puranas. For interpreting the Puranas in the right way, one must know Bhashatraya. There are three kinds of bhashas that are employed in Puranas, which are called Samadhi Bhasha, Gushya Bhasha, and Darshana Bhasha. Samadhi Bhasha, you can take the meaning as it is. Whatever is their apparent meaning, you take them as it is. Puranas have the Samadhi Bhasha, and they also have Darshana Bhasha. Darshana Bhasha means something apparent. Somebody has seen this, somebody has said, oh, I saw this, and his understanding is given. So that means you have to be very careful. Darshana Bhasha you cannot take as it is. You have to see the context. You have to see who tells this, why he tells this. So the Darshana Bhasha you have to be very careful. Then there's a Guhya Bhasha. Guhya Bhasha is hidden language. Apparently it gives some ridiculous meaning, but it has a very, very hidden meaning. One simple example I'll give is in one of the slokas it says you have to give nirmalya. That means whatever is offered to God, that it's already offered things to God, so that you have to give to Paramatma. And then uchishta, you have to take the uchishta. And then it also says vomiting. You have to offer the vomited thing to God. So this kind of a statement, what is this? Why is saying like that? That means nirmalya means Rudradeva has taken Ganga and he said this already Rudradeva accepted it, but that Ganga Abhisheka is great for Paramatma, so the Ganga Jala has to be given to Paramatma. Same way, vomiting means the honeybee takes the essence from the flowers, the fragrance, the makaranda, and it makes the honey. So it is a vomited part of the honey, it's a vomiting of the honey bees. But the honey is great for Paramatma. It's great to offer to Paramatma. Uchishta means the kakochishta or whatever is the crow. What it does is like, it takes the bees, it takes the fruit of the banyan tree, Ashwatha Vriksha, and but from the seed, Ashwatha Vriksha comes. Though the origin of it may be from the uchishta of the crow, but the Ashwatha Vriksha is very sacred. So this is how the hidden bhasha, the meaning is not the direct meaning, but you have to take the hidden meaning. This bhashatraya knowledge has to be there. So that means the one who that's why our Acharya has given, he has given like Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya, he has explained how the Puranas have to be interpreted. So with the help of the gurus, you understand the Puranas, then Puranas are also, they are great tools, because Itihasa Puranabhyam Vedam Sampubrumbhayet. To understand the Vedas properly, we need the help of Itihasa and Puranas. But Puranas have so many contradicting messages. Take the help of gurus. They will tell you how the contradictions have to be resolved, and you resolve the contradictions, take the Puranas, then you're fine. Puranas are a great literature. Vedavyasa himself composed it. They are great tools, but careful, because like a knife is given to a child, the child can cut with the knife, he can cut himself. Or you can use the knife carefully and cut the vegetables. So you can use the knife any way you want, but you have to be very careful for that. So same way the Puranas, one has to be very careful, and with the help of proper gurus, you learn the Puranas, you are safe. It's wonderful tool, it's great tool. So Puranas are, though not a separate prasthana, it's not part of the prasthana, it is an additional tool which helps this prasthana traya. So as an additional tool, Puranas are great tools.
Thank you very much, Tarpatriji. On the Itihasas, one last question before we close this session that's come through is, should young people and children start with stories regarding Ramayana and Bharata before they go to higher level philosophy, and why?
Why they do that? Yeah. So Itihasas, see the Puranas and Itihasa, the word itself tells you the meaning. Itihasa means Itihasa. That means this is how it happened. So the Itihasas give us the true picture as it happened, but it is different from history. In case of history, only the events are listed. In case of Itihasas, not only the events are listed, along with the events, the message is given, and also along with the message, the conversations are given. Along with the conversations, dharma, adharma, prasakti is given. So it is a great learning experience to go through Itihasas. So Itihasa forms, among Itihasa Puranas, Itihasas takes a higher place because Itihasas have less of Darshana Bhasha and Guhya Bhasha are less in Itihasa. Of course, they are also there in Itihasa, but less amount. So that is why, and Itihasas are elaborate, like Ramayana and Mahabharata, they're extensive and elaborate, which give us the true picture of Dharma and Adharma. So Itihasas form a greater source and a more reliable source in interpreting Dharma and Adharma. Puranas, we have to be very careful. That's why Puranas are given a little lesser platform than Itihasas, because Puranas, you have to be very careful interpreting the Puranas. And with the help of Itihasa Puranas, what happens is it becomes easier to understand other Prasthanatraya. So the Itihasa Puranas, why we should go with Itihasa Puranas means, for children, you go and teach Prasthanatraya to children, they say, oh, it's too, I can't understand anything. They can't make, small children, you cannot teach them Prasthanatraya. So Itihasa Purana, small stories, little stories, but through stories, Dharma Chintana is given. What is right, what is wrong, how it is to be done, how to handle a situation, which is helpful for small children also. So they can understand also easily with the help of the stories. That's why Itihasa Puranas are in the form of the stories. Dharma Chintana is given. That is why they are best to teach for younger children. And after they become grown-ups, they can understand Prasthanatraya with the background of Itihasa Purana. They can understand Prasthanatraya much better, much easily.
Thank you very much, Tarpatriji. We thoroughly enjoyed your Q&A. I learned a lot of new things. Thank you so much. So I think we would be delighted to have you as our regular teacher in our forums. So we will definitely would want to keep in touch with you, Tarpatriji. Thank you so much for finding the time. So we are closing the Q&A session today, and I'm going to pass it on to Suresh Ji to carry on with the rest of the program. So again, thank you very much, Tarpatri Ji, for making the time. Suresh, the stage is yours. I'll just share the slides in a minute.
Thank you, Professor Matsoon. Indeed, the time, I think, for the question answers just flew past as we were listening to Tarpatri Ji. But anyway, we move on with the agenda. And now I would request Dr. Sudarshan to give us a brief about the various community outreach and fundraising activities. Dr. Sudarshan, please.
Yeah, thank you. Namaskar, Tirtha Swamiji and others. Wonderful evening. I just wanted to give you a brief sort of introduction to what sort of activities we do, particularly in Stoke-on-Trent. I live, which is between Birmingham and Manchester. And that is how we sort of got into touch with Professor Madhusudan, even though he's my classmate otherwise. But for these activities, and then we have been running this Stoke Academic Hindu Society and the Hindu Knowledge Academy over the past 1 year and more. Madhusudan asked me to sort of do a brief presentation about the charitable activities which we have been doing in the past 12 years or 13 years now. So he's kindly sort of put it in a sort of a slide which for you to understand. So I will probably quickly run it through. In the year 2008, I thought we need to do something for our wider Hindu community and also our Indian culture and heritage. And I always felt that we are a very informal society, always, throughout all these years, 5,000 years or even more. We not had any major formal structures, and but still we have survived. Compared to the Western institutions, they all have a very sort of, or non-Indian religions, they all have a very sort of formal structures. So how come we have survived all this? It's because of our inherent sort of strength in our Indian heritage, knowledge, and the whatever the Upanishads and everything has said. Many of us don't know much about these things. We know Upanishads are great, we know Vedas are great, we know Bhagavad Gita is great, but none of us know much about these things. But somehow our sort of in our the culture has survived within our family, within our temple, within our whatever the structures, whether you like it or not, within the structures within the our Hindu society. So it is really sort of wonderful. So I thought, like, why can't we do something similar, very informal, no form, because many of the times when you start a formal structure, there's a lot of rules. I'm not against that, because the rules are there for a reason, but these rules and regulations and take a lot of our time, and so we might do less activities but more of that. So I've just brought the Hindu community together through the various activities which has been listed. And I thought, like, being in Britain since 1996, I always sort of wondered, the British society has got a very much disciplined structure. Also, you have sort of negative views about it, but still they have a very disciplined structure which we can use to our advantage. And I always felt the British system is a bit elevated, in a non-spiritual way, compared to our Indian system is very much elevated in a spiritual way. So we can combine both. So many activities, as you could see, like mainly the main theme is I said we need to connect to our past, as Swami Vivekananda said, and also we need to do activities for the present and plan for the future. All of them we need to do in a day-to-day life. And the main thing is all of us have got a busy sort of professional life and still young families. So how to combine it is just do it, like hand it over to professionals who can like Professor Madhusudan is an expert in Upanishad, so ask him to do all these sessions. So like that, but coordinate with other people. In the same way, yoga classes are run by a professional yoga teacher, and spoken Sanskrit class is done by a professional. Everybody's. It's not a single class which I take or somebody who's known to me, related to me takes. It's all like, of course, my wife Chitra takes the sloka class, but she is very good in that actually. So it's more like that. And over these past 1 year, since the the lockdown has happened, many activities has come through because we have sort of got used to Zoom, which something which we were not familiar before. We have got used to Zoom now, and so many activities happen through Zoom. Particularly Professor Madhusudan's class, which is likely to continue even post-COVID, because it connects many people from not only this continent, from Middle East, India, America, everywhere. So it's more easy to connect it through Zoom. And so we have sort of started the Hindu Knowledge Academy YouTube channel, and it's quite popular. The classes are quite popular. That's why we are here, sitting here. And we do fundraising as well as part of our activities. And the main fundraising we do, like a charity. I can't go and ask for fundraising every week to somebody, sort of give me 10 pounds, 100 pounds or whatever. So it's not going to be practically working out. So we started a charity food takeaway group where food is sort of needed for people, like both couples working. And so we thought, like, since 2017 we've been having, like, we get the food from the restaurant at a reasonable cost, and give it to people, so that, like, whatever the profit we make in that, it goes to the charity. So we donated about 25,000 pounds approximately to various charities in the past 4 years. And through this, our group itself, the Upanishad group itself, we have sort of done 3 charitable activities. One is we raise funds for the Akshay Patra Foundation in UK, who feeds poor children here at school. And we had done about 1,500 pounds plus. And the Hungarian food charity, we done about 500 pounds. And for our Venkata Krishna Vrindavana temple fundraising, we collected about 1,500, of which we collected 200 plus through the charity food takeaway. So many activities. And we run this do-it-yourself puja group, where we have a puja every twice a month. One is Satyanarayana Puja, the other one is like any other puja, Durga Puja, or like Hanuman Puja, or anything like which is significant at that time. We have many festivals in our Hindu calendar. And the professional priest guides us, the sort of the people who do the puja at home. And that's quite popular. It connects many people around UK. Any Hindus can do the puja, and so they feel they're doing the puja. So it's very, very useful in that sense. So many activities. I can't sort of, when I said to Professor Madhusudan, I said I cannot list all of them sort of, in one meeting. So as you could see, he has sort of kindly put it in as like a PowerPoint presentation. The main message is, it's not just me, it's not about us, it's not about Sakiti, it's the strength of our Shastras, strength of our people, people who have led their life before us, who have done a wonderful job. If we just follow that, that's enough. We're not going to do anything wonderfully. Whatever we are, it may be useful for the Western sort of our education and practice and everything. But this, whatever we are going to do, it's the basis is the strength of the Indian culture, and anybody can do it. It's nothing about me or anybody. Anybody can do it. You can start. Today is the best day, because like, it's not going to happen when you are retired, post-retired, I will start doing. It's never going to happen. And it's much better to do when you're healthy, when you're sort of doing everything in your day-to-day life. So do not postpone until your retired life, and try to sort of do it within your own schedule. And you need to be ready to give some time, 5 minutes a day at least, to this. Otherwise it's not going to work out. But if you start giving 5 minutes, somebody else will give 10 minutes, and then it will work out. So then you can sort of do wonders. So today is the best day, and whatever happens, start as a small thing, like, something's better than nothing. And do not sort of worry about other people's commenting or anything like that. So just carry on. The Indian culture, Indian heritage, our rishis, blessings, everything will carry with you. Just keep on going, and you will only be successful. Namaskar. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sudarshan, for that brief overview. And now we come to the last item of the agenda, which is vote of thanks by Dr. Sushrat Kulkarni. Dr. Sushrat, please.
Namaskara. We at the Hindu Knowledge Academy have been truly blessed today. His Holiness Swamiji Sri Sugunendra Tirthaji has given up his valuable time on the auspicious occasion of Ekadashi, and despite his fasting, so we are eternally grateful. A simple thank you would not be enough, so I would convey our Sashtanga Namaskars to him. Thank you also to our special guest today, Sri T.S. Raghavendran, Professor Mukund, and also Sri Keshav Tadpatriji, who very eloquently answered all our tricky questions that we posed to him. Our namaskaras to you as well. Thank you to Yogendra Bhattji and R.B. Subramaniam ji for help in making today's lecture possible. Without their help, we could not have managed to get today's program together. You may know that the VKV New Jersey has coordinated Gita chanting classes over a number of years. Excuse me. These classes have benefited a number of people, and including some of our chanters from today. So our thanks to all the teachers who have made this possible. A special thanks to Veena and Suresh Kankanwadi for coordinating today's event with Putki Matha. Over the last year, Professor Madhusudanji's lectures have become a regular feature of our lives. His commitment to sharing his extensive knowledge through his lectures is unbelievable. We are hugely indebted to him. Excuse me. Thank you to all our regular attendees who have been very enthusiastic over the past year in the discussions and interactive sessions. I hope more of you can join us in the coming year, and we will have an extensive program planned with Madhusudanji and others from Putki Matha as well. Our chat, our web WhatsApp group link is on this slide, and the previous lectures are available on the YouTube channel. So I would urge people to view them, please. None of these sessions would have been possible without the enthusiasm and the organizational skills of Sudarshanji and Chitraji. As we have heard, they are the founding force behind HKA, and really they are also the driving force. So very grateful to Sudarshan and Chitra for this. Thank you. One person whom we don't see is Abhijit Nair. He works behind the scenes and has been instrumental in designing the website and administering it. So a special thanks to him as well. He's always in the background. We never see him, but he works very efficiently. Harish did a great job in coordinating the Gita chanting today, and well done to all the young and not so young participants. This program went very well. Thank you one and all for attending today and making this a huge success. Once again, I would like to thank Swamiji and hope we can listen to him in person in the future. Above all, we have to thank Lord Sri Krishna for giving us the grace and making this program possible. Without his grace, nothing would move. Thank you all once again. Krishna Arpanamastu.
Thank you, Sushruth.
Thank you, Dr. Sushruth. And with that, we will close this evening's program. Thank you all for your valuable time and the interactive sessions that we have had. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Krishna Arpanamastu.